Has anyone seen the sheep show before? Oh wow. Okay, so for you pork a lot, it's a repeat because I can't think of anything new to say. But the people who haven't seen me before, I'm just going to quickly break it down. Big bad sheep run through portholes, each end a wagon. They run on stage unaided. They read their name, stand on the right spot. Anyway, then we're going to move on to part two. Part two gets a bit more exciting for you if you get a bit bored with that one. I open the door, a wild sheep, which is in the makeup room, getting a bit dolled up. She launches out. Now her instincts will kick in. She'll try and sidestep and bungee jump into the audience. That's what she wants to do. I'm going to stop that happening. I'm going to physically catch her, take her out of four-wheel drive. I call this part the live striptease show. Who wants to see a naked sheep? Yeah, my kind of people. I'm moving to Somerset. Alright, we're going to tell you why we make you naked, how good it is for her, keeps her alive longer, blah, 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 blah. And then we're going to move on to the highlight for some. Part three. We're going to throw it back to the Hollywood stars of the sheep world. Believe it or not, they're going to break into a dance routine. You believe me? Yeah. No, you're a bunch of sheep. Of course not. Anyway, we'll give it a bash. Alright, so people who've seen me before, you know what to do. People who haven't seen me before, this is your part. Every time a sheep pops its head through the portholes, the crowd erupts with applauding. I mean, they're a bit like our Hollywood stars. They love an intro. Okay, here we go. Let's start at the start. Nobby the Norfolk Horn, okay, legend of the sheep world, been around a very long time. He's a bit of a sad story. He's extremely rare. I predict he might become extinct in the near future. He's on the way out, basically. So before he disappears, we better have a look at him. All right, here's go. Bit of music. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, put your hands together, scream if you feel like it, for the legend of the sheep world, Nobby the Norfolk Horn. Nobby! Read your name. Told you he could read. Look at that. He's reading. You like it? Do you get it? He's on the way out. I'll survive. You hit it. Okay. Anyway, it's just my something. I hope he survives. It doesn't look good for him, to be honest, but I hope he stays around a bit longer. Before I tell you why he's disappearing, let me tell you how famous he is. This is the bloke. And it's hard to imagine this for humans today, but sheep were the oil of today, the oil and gold. For hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, where Great Britain got most of its wealth from was the sheep. Wool, hundreds of years ago, was as valuable as gold. They'd be selling it. He sold his wool to the rich Europeans, got loads and loads of money for it. He donated all that money to your churches. Or they probably just took it. Anyway, he built thousands and thousands of churches around the UK. So he's a legend in the sheep world. But I'm afraid to say his time has come. He's under 1,000 left of him, and he could be on the way out. And I'll come back to why that's exactly happening in a minute. But next we're going to bring on Susie. I know. Oh, don't judge me when you see her, because I have a slight crush on her. But she is the cutest little girl I've got. She's a real star. So I'm just going to bring her on. Please welcome our shyest and sweetest little thing. Her name is Susie, the South Down. Ladies and gentlemen, give it a hand for Susie, baby. Woo, look at baby. Doesn't she look yummy? I mean, sorry, lovely. Sorry, lovely. Sorry, Susie, that wasn't meant like that. I didn't mean it. Okay, relax. So Susie's a very famous man. I'm sure you kids have heard of the man who made her famous, your bloke, Captain Cook. We all know what he did, sailed around the world, bumping into countries. Did you know this about your man? When Captain Cook left to go sailing, he took a friend with him. His little friend and companion, Susie. Now I'm hoping he only took her for two reasons. She's got the finest wool in the UK, still today. Now in the UK you've got 68 breeds of sheep. 68. She's one of your best wools. The other reason I'm thinking he took her, she's got the sweetest lamb chops you've ever tasted. Bring on the Barbie. Getting hungry just looking at her. Anyway, she was the first sheep to land in New Zealand. She went to Australia, Canada, America, South Africa, Globetrotter. Nobby, like that in his women, open-minded, travelled around the world. So Nobby asked Susie on a date. Now kids, this is only rumours, but on their third date they got romantic. And their romance has led to the #1 sheep in the world today. Please welcome our love child. He's in more countries than any breed on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, the legend, Sam the Suffolk. #1 sheep in the world out of 800 breeds. Sam the man, yeah! Sam, who's your name? Mate. Now Sam, #1 sheep in the world. 800 breeds in the world. By the way, I don't know if you guys realise this, But Mother Nature only made 5 breeds. 10,000 years ago, humans started farming sheep. And from those 5 breeds, we've made over 800 of them. Breeds. Why is Sam the number 1? What do we do with them? We eat him. Oh, sorry, Sam, did you hear that? La, 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 la. You're right, though. We love to nibble on him. And it was thanks to his mum. She passed on those lovely, sweet-tasting lamb chops. So what did his daddy do for him? Daddy made him longer. You can squeeze a couple more lamb chops in here. Great design. Sad thing about this family is, why is his poor daddy becoming extinct? I personally blame his son. He took over the business and did a much better job at it. I'm afraid in this world it's out with the old, in with the new. But I'm sure he'll be around a bit longer than this. Alright, we're going to move on to the hill breeds now, and this is Belinda. You can always tell the hill breeds, especially this one. She's got legs all the way out to her eyeballs. Now, Belinda's a very good multitasker. I'll just bring her on, you'll see it. Please welcome our lovely, our luscious, her name is Belinda, the Blue-Faced Leicester. And I've got a new system, and it's not working. There we go. Belinda, come on up here. Give her a big warm welcome, yeah. Sorry, Belinda. I got... Oh, that's not it. Hang on. That's what is Scottish, mate. No, that's not it. Hang on. Sorry. I'm getting used to this. This is a new start of the year. Got a few cobwebs.
I have 3 words to say.
No, not that one. This one. Okay, so anyway. Not just a great set of legs, just for the ladies, all natural. She can do 3 products. This is it.
Sierra smile.
Yeah.
Legs that go on for miles.
Anyway, sorry. The music should go with the sheep, but I was bad timing. 3 things she'd give to... She'd give us actually loads of things, but 3 things. 3 major things. What are they? Wool, meat, milk. Now, not many people in the Western world know this, but just as many sheep are being milked around the world today as cows. Sheep's milk's got more protein, more calcium, loads of zinc, which keeps you looking younger. I'm 65 years old. Anyway, she's one of the best multitaskers you've got in the UK. All right, we're going to bring on the wildest sheep in the UK. And I always get nervous. Start of the year. Anyway, let's just bring him on. I'll introduce him in his native tongue. It keeps him a bit calmer. He doesn't get so homesick. He's a little way from Scotland, lass in the Highlands of Scotland. Bonny Scotland. He's from Scotland. Okay, please welcome Dougal, the Scottish blackface. Come on up here. Dougal! Yeah! You don't get to this fella in the dark alley. From the only sheep, I'm a little bit submissive. I need to give me clean Glasgow kisses. Alright, now, I lived in Scotland as a shepherd a long time ago in the prettiest place in the world, Glencoe of Scotland. I looked after this breed of sheep. We used to gather them off the hills once or twice a year. Bit of a nail varnish, bit of a haircut. Forget about them the rest of the time. Looks after themselves. They produce the toughest wool as well for the hardest carpets. The only wool my country imports because it produces really hard wool because that climate. A lot of these sheep wouldn't survive where he lives. It's that kind of tough area. Now one day, kids, probably in the summer, Belinda went up to Scotland for a little bit of hiking. Dougal spotted her and fell in love. After a 5-mile chase, Belinda gave up. Their romance has led to the #1 sheep in the UK by numbers. Okay, so she's most numerous sheep you've got. Her name, please welcome your #1 Wales, England, Scotland and Ireland. Her name is Martha the Mule. Ladies and gentlemen, go mad. #1 sheep in the UK, Martha! Oh, sweetheart. You look like your dad, a bit wild. Pretty woman, walking down the street, pretty woman, the kind I'd like to eat. Now, why is she your #1 sheep in the UK? Well, her mummy gives her the wool, the meat, the milk, making her a wonderful multitasking mummy. But it's her daddy what finishes her off. He gives her the toughness of a breed of sheep you don't need to babysit. Perfectly designed for your beautiful countryside and your lovely climate over here. Made by the UK, for the UK, and only found here. Alright, Dougal's limbering up for the dance, very good to stretch. Alright, now we're going to bring on as the hippie. Is there any hippies in the audience? Probably not. No. Okay, we'll change this question. Put your hands up in the air if your motto in life is make love, not war. Just the four of us. No wonder the world's in so much trouble. All right. Anyway, kids, when you get old enough, it's a great way to be. Please welcome the lover, the not a fighter. He's the hippie of the sheep world. He's called Lenny, the Lincoln Longwool. Ladies and gentlemen, Lenny! Don't worry. Be happy. Okay. Actually, a lot of people do say to me he looks a bit like Bob Marley. Got a lot in common with Bob Marley. He loves reggae music, and I can't keep him off the grass either. Loves it. Just for mums and dads' kids, though. Okay, now this guy grows wool like grass in the paddock. He's actually one of your fastest wool breeds in the UK. So I've got a question for you guys in the UK. Why then is he 4th category rare breed? One more category and you've lost him. I'll quickly break it down. 15 years ago, the wool market crashed in the UK. All your farmers went to meat breeds, no money in wool. Wool breeds are dropping like flies. Luckily for Lenny, he got off your island, made it to my island, New Zealand. I'm not sure how he got there. Maybe Bear Grylls helped him, the little canoe, rode real hard in. So he won't become extinct, is what I'm trying to say when you lose him. We have him. Unlike Nobby, I'm afraid to say why he's looking so sad is he didn't like travelling. He only stayed in the UK. So there's under 1,000 left of him. When you guys lose him here in the UK, he's gone forever. All right, we're going to move on. We got the Europeans, the foreigners. This first guy's from the Netherlands. Actually, can you detect, I don't know if you guys picked up on it yet, but I'm not local. Did you get that? Yeah. Some of you, I can see some of you have guessed where I'm from. Well done. I'm from Norfolk. Where did nobody come from? We're based up there anyway. Anyone, quick guess where I'm from? New Zealand. Yep, well done. Kiwi. I'm a Kiwi, well done. I do get called Australian a lot in your country, and I'll be honest with you, I don't mind being called Australian. Some of them are quite nice. And it's really easy to tell the difference between the Aussies and Kiwis if you get confused. Australians, they talk funny. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring on my foreigner here. He's from the Netherlands. He's a Texel breed, one of my favourite breeds of sheep in the world. And this guy has got actually, hold on. I want to play the song first. He's got a bottom, he's got a massive bottom. He's got a double muscle on the glutamus maximus. So I picked the perfect song. I'll even sing it. I like big butts and I can't like. Anyway, please welcome the double muscle bottom, Terry the Texel. Give up the Terry! I love that song. I love it. Anyway, so why did we do it to a sheep? Why did we make double muscle on a sheep? Very simple. More meat, more money for the farmers. Look at Sam. Can't even look at Terry. Look at that. He doesn't like him. It happened 4 years ago in Sam's own country. Sam is knocked off the #1 spot in the UK as the #1 breeding ram by this fella. Now, if you don't know what that means, kids, it's a great job. He's got more wives than Sam has in the UK. But Sam's got more wives around the world, so it's not all bad news. He's still #1 in the world. Unfortunately for Sam, Terry's #2 in the world and he's steamrolling them up. Okay, we're going to move on to the French. You can't forget the French, it's a bit hard. So please welcome. Kids, he's only just come over here into the UK and he speaks French, you have to say bonjour. Please welcome our Frenchman called Rubet the Rouge de l'Ouest. Very, very popular sheep over there. Rubet the Rouge de l'Ouest. Rouge de l'Ouest. Bonjour, bonjour. Now I know what you're probably thinking. He's a bit funny looking, but he is from France. Now I'm not sure what the French are trying to do with the looks. I personally think it's a throwback. I don't know what it is. What the French I think we're trying to do is get a sheep a bit like the Suffolk and the Texel. Very long carcass like the Suffolk and very, very round, much wider like the Texel here. So I don't think that they've done a good job with the body size. I do, if I'm going to nitpick, only because they're French, I will nitpick. I think they let him down. He's a bit high maintenance, especially in wet weather. He gets sore feet quite quickly than other sheep. But anyway, he's a beautiful carcass. All right, they've done pretty well first. One of the first shows of the year. Okay, so no bungee jumping yet, so that's great, guys. Okay, before we move on to the live striptease show, one more big round of applause for the Hollywood stars. Well done. Rupert, it's not a competition. Stop showing off to the boys. There we go. And you too, Terry. Sorry, and if you cough, Terry, you might hit somebody. He's done it before. It was very embarrassing. Poor kid didn't know what happened. What happened? Anyway, All right, so this part of the show, quickly go through it. Hand shears, been around for thousands of years. One of the only things humans have invented that's had the #1 spot the longest, apart from the wheel, I don't suppose. They're still #1 in the world today for shearing sheep, more than the machine. A lot of countries don't have electricity like we do, so they still shear. I grew up shearing sheep. I'll never forget my first one, 14 years old. Main reason I'll never forget it, the poor thing looked more like a poodle. Okay, but I prefer the machine. Some people get nervous. I get heckled doing this job, obviously. I get all sorts of people watching, and some people come up and give me a bit of a hard time. You're a horrible man. That poor sheep's going to freeze to death. Well, that was mean what you did to it. So I want to go through a few wives' tales. Does this machine hurt the skin of the sheep when you're shearing it? Let me demonstrate on my own skin. It doesn't hurt. Apart from the machine breaking down. Here we go. Doesn't hurt. You can get used to it. No, I'm not joking, it's lovely. A bit like a vibrating feeling. Yes, it doesn't hurt, honest. Sheep love it all, thank you very much. Okay, well, the last thing I've got to do, and because I'm in your, when I only come here for 6 months a year. I go away for 6 months doing wildlife work. Actually, I've just wrote a book called The Way of the Dog. I spend a lot of my time tracking wildlife, and canines are my favourite, Ethiopian wolves, wild dogs of Africa, blah, 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 blah. And I've wrote a book about understanding our domestic dogs a bit better. So that if there's anybody interested, you can come and see me after the show. That's my sale pitch. Basically, what I get when I come back to the UK is a letter from your health and safety people. Because I'm working in front of public with wild and animal. This is a wild sheep coming out. And I have to do a little clip. I have to give a quick safety talk. So that's what I'm leading up to. And I will be honest with you. Personally, I'll be honest with you. I've travelled around the world for over 25 years, 100 countries. I love coming back to your country in the summer. I think it's a great spot in the world. There's one thing I'm going to say about your country. Please don't take this as a criticism from a foreigner. Take it as an observation. But I find here in the UK, more than any other country I've ever been to, I do find your health and safety people maybe wound up a little bit tight. Okay, this is a safety talk I've got to give you. And this is for real, this is their words. I open the door, a wild sheep runs out towards the public. I will physically catch it. If I miss, I hardly ever miss, once or twice a week tops. If a sheep lands on the grass, and I'm not physically attached to it, it's not part of the show. Please do not panic. If a sheep is running at you, calmly stand. If it's getting really close to you, turn, and if it's very close to you, run. Now you can't sue me. Is it law? Great. I am now protected. All right, good luck in the front row. She's 1 year old, never had a haircut, and she's a mule, so she takes after her dad a bit. It's crazy. All right, let's get on with it. She will be a little bit lively, kids. Don't be too worried. I can handle this one. I'm pretty sure of it. She is going to be lively though, because she's first time ever had a haircut. Whoa! Fully locked on. First thing you do, put the handbrake on. Sorry, slipped. Don't take any pictures. That's not the position I should be in. Reverse you back a bit, mother. Terry's got the block in. Well done, Terry. All right, let's get her out of four-wheel drive before I end up somewhere I shouldn't be. Okay, and relax. Just relax. There we go. Oh, thank you, sweet. All right, now. First time, she's going to be a little bit, sheep aren't stupid. Actually, when they come out of four-wheel drive, they kind of do relax. Some people come up to me after the show and say this to me. That sheep, it wasn't wild like you said it was. It just sat there when you were shearing. It didn't even try and run. And I'm always thinking to myself, well, how far can it run if the feet aren't on the ground? Why would it run? But they're not silly. They wait for an opportunity. If I make a wrong move or I'm yapping too much and not concentrating, and if one of those pinkies touch the ground when I'm shearing, then you'll see the fastest tap dancing show you've ever seen. So my art of shearing is keeping her in a position she knows she can't get away on. And that's really, that's the secret. Holding the sheep is 80% of shearing. Now kids, for the kids, sheep, just a bit like grandma and granddad, teeth only on the bottom, okay? The animals that eat grass, apart from the horse family, all animals that eat grass, apart from the horse family, they only have teeth on the bottom and a gum on the top. Okay, you can tell the age, actually. This is probably not her first haircut, I've been told. But she's just a tutu, so she might be a second haircut, actually. So you can tell the age of her. Google, stop breaking my stage. Now, I don't know if the kids can see this. Look at the bikini line. Oh, Look at these Klingons. I'll get a little one. Oh, look at, oh, it's sticky. That's what happens, kids, if you don't use toilet paper. And Mum and Dad will hear you coming. It rattles when you run. Oh. So we stick that in my stinky bag. That gets made into the felt. I don't know if you know this, but this is the carpets and woolly jumpers. Bikini line and belly wool goes into the felt processing. I don't know, you've seen those little, the rich people walking around with these little bowler hats going, oh, hello, what, glass of port, anyone? You can actually think to yourself, oh, mate, get a sheet of pop on your head. Now, I just want to check it's a female. If it's a boy snuck in, I don't want to be cutting bits off which shouldn't come off, so it's a female, and I think I'm just about ready to start. Now, a lot of people get upset about shaving nicks. It's a very fair comment. They do sometimes get cut. We try very hard not to let this happen, but shearers are averaging 300 to 400 sheep a day. You're going to get the odd nick here and there. Okay, the guy called Godfrey Bowen made this way of shearing for the sheep's protection, and he's a legend. He passed away with cancer, unfortunately. There's a couple buttons I want to show you. For the kids, it's a bit like, you know how Daddy has a shave, and he pulls the skin tight so he doesn't cut himself? Mummy with the legs keeps the skin nice and tight when you shave the legs. If you don't do that, you can get a nick. So this hand has only got one job when you're shearing. Don't you let that sheep get cut. And he works extremely hard not to let that happen. He's got a few tricks up his sleeve. I just want to show you a couple of let's get on with it. I haven't sheared a sheep for quite a while, even though Belinda's looked like she's seen it all before. Okay, now, belly wool is usually the hardest. And because it's been quite cold, the oil of the sheep is getting, the ladies of the audience, what's the oil called? Well done, ladies. The lanolin hasn't really lifted yet. And so that makes it a little bit stickier for the shearer, and it takes a little bit longer. Now there's 2 teats at the bottom, kids, not 4 like a cow. Sheep only have 2, and when you're shearing, try and leave them on. So go very careful around there. Otherwise, it's very hard to feed her babies if she hasn't got them. Onto the bikini line. Sorry, I've got to fix that. These are the kinks we have to find out about when we're start of the year. Onto the bikini line. If there's anyone out, sorry, I'll start that again. If there's any ladies out in the audience watching right now, thinking he's not doing a bad job of that bikini line, and maybe you're going on holiday soon. Maybe summer's coming up and you think it's time and you want just a bit of a trim up. It's only 50p today, ladies. And if you really want to know there's a recession on, I can give you the 50p. Okay. Oh, Jesus. This is a little bit more of a stickier sheep than usual. Not in more ways than one. She's not really making it easy on me, making me work for this one. Alright, so why do we shear sheep? Are people right saying it's cruel? Are people right when they say, just leave the animal alone? Well, I think it's far too late for that. By the way, put that back, she's a bit shy. About 10,000 years ago, when Mother Nature made a sheep, she didn't make them looking like this. She made them more like a goat. Okay, they had a very small fleece back then, and they molted every year. We farmed sheep 10,000 years ago because we kind of liked them on the barbie. So we realised with a small fleece, we could change this animal more for humans' use. So we started a thing called selective breeding. By the way, I take my time around the underarm, make sure you get it all, otherwise it looks a bit European. Okay, so we started growing their fleece longer and longer on the back of the sheep. The worst thing we did to this animal is we stopped it molting. 95% of our breeds of sheep now can't naturally molt anymore. Wool has become the second biggest killer of our sheep today. Obviously number one's the barbie. How does wool kill a sheep? 2 ways. They can get stuck on their own back. It's called cast. And if a fox, seagull or crow finds a sheep upside down before the farmer does, it's all over Red Rover. But the biggest killer is a thing called fly strike. Flies love this unnatural fleece. And they lay the babies in it called maggots. And maggots, ugh. It only takes a few days, folks. And maggots can kill a sheep very quickly. Okay, and now the small farmers ain't got a big deal. They can check their flocks a lot. But when I lived up in Scotland, it's all hills, and you've got 2,000 to 3,000 sheep running around. Maggots are a huge problem. So reason we have to shear sheep, even by law now, otherwise you can be done for cruelty to animals, is because of their health. Even if we lose money by shearing sheep, we still got to do it. The chore, like drenching, and other maintenance we have to do. Foot trimming, delousing. Anyway, no cuts, no scratches. She'll live for another 12 months. Who wants to see a naked sheep? Yeah. Oh, here we go. First time I've done for a while. Here we go. One naked sheep. Give her a little bit. Hop in here. Hop in here. Don't worry, it's not an oven. Okay, if I was a real shearer, I'd like to be like Lightning McQueen. I'd hit a swinging door, grab another sheep, not even worrying about the wool. They get paid per sheep. They've got a little slide between the legs that slides under the shed and runs out to the paddock. Grab another sheep. 300-400 sheep a day. I could never ever do that. I'm not a shearer, I'm a show pony. But they are legends. This is a shed hander's job. He runs in, he grabs the wool, and he gets out of the way of the shearer quick. If the shearer gets back with a sheep and the wool's still there, he owes him a beer. Okay, so you see the whole shape. I'm just going to drop it in front of me. The back legs down first, the sides, and right here, that's where the head was. What do you think, Nobby? It's me, honest. Give me that twinkle in your eye. Okay, so we roll it up. This is if it was a hogget, like I thought it was, but it's not actually, it's a 2 year. But if it was a first year cut, it would be the best wool the sheep would ever grow in its life. It's his first cut of wool. How much do you think the farmer makes for that? The wool board say there's at least 3 or 4 woolly jumpers in a fleece. Quite hard to believe, but you never know. How much? £2. 50p, you're from Scotland? £3. Shearing costs of £1.20 for shearing a sheep. Shed hand is about £13 an hour. It's 50p's was what it probably was about 3 years ago. And for 15 years, it averaged 50p. So 15 years in the UK, farmers were losing money by shearing their own sheep. Not a little bit, it was quite a big cost for them to shear their own sheep. It was a loss. 2 years ago, wool started turning for the first time in 15 years, and last year it jumped up, doubled overnight. Now it could be worth up to £2 for a good fleece from depends on the breed of sheep, but it can get up that high now. So wool has actually started in the last couple of years, done a slow turnaround. But for 15 years it was nosediving. Hopefully this might save some of your last woolly breeds which are disappearing. Anyway, we're going to move on.